Well, we're in the middle of the earnings season, so let's get on board Mr. Arulselvan D, President and CFO of Chola Investment and Finance Company Limited, to understand how the quarter was and, more importantly, what should we expect from company going forward. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to ET Now. Now, your asset quality has improved strongly sequentially, and the collections have been decent as well. What are you witnessing on the ground? What can you tell us about the demand outlook?
The asset quality had improved in Q4, even better than Q3. Q3 by itself was a good quarter as compared to the earlier quarter because that was immediately post the COVID too. And in Q4, our collection efficiency touched the peak of 138% in March, and it was above 100% in both Jan and February. So all this resulted in substantial reduction of both stage 2 as well as stage 3 assets. On top of it, we have also considered a write-off of a few very old accounts that also helped us to push down the NPA numbers substantially.
Can you talk to us about the growth in net interest income? Where do you see disbursement growth translating? Will you see disbursement growth translating into NII growth in this fiscal?
Yes, as a matter of fact, in the current fiscal, you will see better income in absolute terms, primarily because in the year FY22, while disbursements have grown substantially, the runoff of all the moratorium assets, etc., had been also higher. That's why you will not see a what should I say, similar growth levels on AUM. AUM grew only by around 8%, while disbursement growth was, in double digits. So, but this rundown of moratorium assets will taper down in the coming year, and so progressively you see a larger AUM growth, and as long as you have a larger AUM, your income in absolute terms would also be higher. The mix of the portfolio will determine the yield percentage as well as how we are able to pass on the interest hikes that are seen around the corner.
Okay, so that point is taken that AUM growth is going to be faster going forward, but with the recent rate hike, how is that expected to impact your numbers, your cost of funds, etc., and what will it do to your margins?
So the rate hike immediately would be an impact from the perspective of cost of funds being higher on all the new borrowings because I'm sure the new borrowings would start getting priced at a higher price, factoring in the repo rate hike that the RBI has now, put in place. And also some of the old borrowings which are on variable rate linked to benchmarks would also change progressively as and when the resets fall due. So that both these would have an impact on the cost of funds and so therefore on the NIM. However, the new book would also start being, dispersed at higher rates. That would be also determined by the market demand, etc. Factoring in this, I think in 1 or 2 quarters you will see some impact on the NIM, but subsequently we should be back to normal.
Sir, for that.